Guys, you're welcome to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing all right. So for today I have a short story. I have a friend. This friend of mine is in a relationship, a long distance relationship, and the guy doesn't stay in Nigeria. She stays in Nigeria, the guy stays in Dubai. So they have a very funny kind of relationship. If you're around this girl, when her partner calls, you feel pity for her because she'll be so tensed, she'll be so uneasy, and you though I'm not hearing what the partner is saying, but you see that she's defensive this way. She's answering questions upon questions upon questions, and you see the uneasiness in her. And one day I had to ask, why is it always like this? Like she just opened up and told me that it's not easy. This guy calls her and wants to know where she is every time. Even when she's not doing something bad, she's looking for a way to cover up because the guy is not having it. The guy tells her, okay, anytime she complains that she's being very sensitive, that this is what relationship is all about. If she's not doing anything bad, why is she complaining? And when she wants to leave, the guy will tell her, okay, go. No other person can love you. Just go and see. You think anybody can love you? Like trying to put her down every time. So the guy has already killed her self-esteem, and something in her psyche is telling her that if she leaves this guy, she might not find somebody that is good for her, just as the guy has been saying. And a lot of people out there face this kind of situation. Emotional abuse is very subtle. It's not like physical abuse where you can say, oh, he hit me. This one, you have to be very sensitive to know that you're being emotionally abused. And that brings us to our topic for today. 10 signs to know you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. So for number 1, they use gaslighting tactics to manipulate you into doubting your own experience. So gaslighting is a kind of emotional abuse whereby your partner leads you to distrust your own interpretation of reality. So for example, let's say your partner has anger issues and you want to discuss it with him, and you bring up a conversation like, okay, I think you have anger issues, or anyhow you want to present it. You know what your partner will do if he's emotionally abusive? He's going to turn the whole thing around. He'll tell you you're very sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? He will start tutoring you on what to expect in a relationship. In fact, an emotional abuser behaves as though he knows better than you. He behaves as though his knowledge is most superior to yours. And by the time he's done coaching you, you start questioning if you didn't actually present it well, or maybe he's right. Maybe I'm overreacting. You start questioning yourself instead of questioning the way he makes you feel whenever he has his anger issues. That is an emotional abuser. He's going to turn the whole thing around. They'll tell you you're the one making me behave in a certain way. And then you yourself, you sit down and start questioning, it's true. Maybe I shouldn't have reacted this way. If I hadn't reacted this way, maybe he wouldn't have behaved like this. You see what he did? Classic example. Just turned the whole thing in such a way that you start blaming yourself. That is a classic example of a gaslighter, of gaslighting. So yes, an emotionally abusive person will gaslight you. So when you notice these things, especially if it's reoccurs, constantly, discuss it with your friend so that your friend can let you know that your concerns are valid. So that a family, a friend, a therapist, anyone, so that they can let you know that these concerns are valid. Don't allow an emotional abuser to mess with your brain and make you start feeling like you're not thinking properly, or it's your fault. Discuss it with someone, share it with someone, and find out and get to the person's response, or how the person will respond in such a situation. For number 2, they speak over you. Now, speaking over you is different from standing up for you. It's always very nice if you're in trouble or if you're in some kind of argument and your partner stands up for you, it's different from speaking over you. Especially maybe you're in a group and then you try to voice an opinion and your partner raises his voice, tries, makes gestures. You will understand that he doesn't want you to talk at that particular time. If he's acting like you're a spokesman, it's not chivalry, it's a serious red flag. That is an emotional abuser right there. So just need to know this, because as I said earlier, they're very subtle. You might not even know that this is emotional abuse. That's why you need to pay attention so that you can evaluate your relationship and know if you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. For number 3, they show physical aggression, whether it is directed at you or is not directed at you. Now, for somebody that has been violated, or abused physically, there are signs, maybe bruises or hurts somewhere or the other. But in a situation whereby the physical aggression is not directed at you, example, slamming the door at your face, maybe after an argument he just slams the door, or when you're arguing he just hits the wall that is very close to you, things like that, or just maybe carries an object and flings. It's not directed at you. Remember, it's not directed at you, but those are physical aggression, and you don't even know the next object is going to fling, whether it is going to hit you or it's going to cause some kind of damage that will cost you a lot of money. So this kind of expressions are normally excused. They're not seen as abuse, but this lets you know that that person doesn't have physical control. In fact, it leaves you in a state of hypervigilance. You don't know when the next thing is going to hit you, or if it's going to hit you, or if it's not going to. So you have to be very careful. You have to be looking around, especially when he's angry, to make sure that he doesn't hit you. So the extreme stress of enduring physical acts that doesn't hurt you directly, it just is real. It's very real. So physical aggression is also emotional abuse. You have to look out for it. It's very subtle. You might excuse, it doesn't beat me, it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't touch me. But how does it express its anger? For number 4, they shut down and withhold emotional intimacy. So this is when your partner stonewalls you or shuts you out verbally in order to manipulate the situation or control the situation at that particular time. So it's normal for you to want your space. Sometimes your partner would want his space, to evaluate situation. But when it happens, every time, then you have to look out for it. It might be an emotional abuser. How can you just shut your partner? In fact, sometimes they will keep quiet and you start wondering, why are they quiet? A lot of things will be going through your head. You don't know whether it's as a result of what you did, and you'll be asking somebody, what is it? Why are you so moody? Why are you so quiet? And the person is telling you nothing. Or sometimes he does not even respond. So you're in a state of, wonder, thinking, what is happening to him? Is it my fault? Is it something I did? You don't know. He just shuts you out verbally. Doesn't communicate his emotions with you. But you see that something is wrong. So it's not okay. It's not okay for your partner to shut you out, leaving you in the dark, making you wonder what you did, if you did something or if you didn't do something. It's very, very wrong. That is an emotional abuser. That is emotional abuse. Making you wonder. That is so wrong. And a lot of people do this. In fact, I know a couple of people that do it, and it is very, very wrong. If you have a problem, communication is very, very important in a relationship. Without communication, the relationship is going to have serious faults. So every time you're angry, you shut the person out, you don't eat her food, you don't talk to her, that is emotional abuse. So stop it if you're doing it. And also, if you are experiencing it, just know that that is an abuse. For number 5, They try to control the people you spend time with. In fact, I feel this is a personal opinion that for a relationship to be successful, both partners need their own social life separate. They need a form of autonomy. This one has a life of her own, and this one has a life of his own, and both of them come together. You know, in a relationship, it's fun that way than making your partner your all in all. You don't have friends, you don't talk to family, everything is just your partner. So if you're in that kind of situation, it's wrong. I feel it is wrong. So when your partner is constantly trying to cage you, doesn't want you to have friends, and even the friends you have, he will criticize and sometimes stop you from seeing that friend because maybe they're not okay with it. But deep down in you, you know that that friend has done nothing wrong. And he does this for the number one friend, for the second friend, for the third friend, to a point where you don't even have friends any longer. What do you think? That is an emotional abuser. Your partner shouldn't get in the way of your friendship. If he feels that there is something wrong with your friendship, there are better ways to present it. In fact, he can discuss it, make you see reasons. So both of you could be educated, even if you're not educated. He can make you see reasons why that person is not good for you, and it's in your position to check and know if you want to do it with that friend or not. Abusers don't want you to have company. They don't want you to have people that you can share your concerns with. They will do it in such a way that at the end you don't even have anybody to talk to, just them. And by the time you're in that position, it's a very terrible experience. You don't want to wish that on your enemy. When you are alone and there is nobody to talk to, and the only person that you trusted now turns his back and shows you a different side, it's very wrong. Don't do away with your friends because of your partner. Do away with your friends because you feel they're not the best for you. For number 6, they refuse to leave your personal space. Have you had a situation or an experience whereby you tell someone, I don't want to talk to you now, and the person is like, no, we have to settle it here? I've seen this instance. In fact, last year during the Big Brother Nigeria show, there was a situation like that in the house, and Big Brother was not happy. This lady was having an argument with her friend, and at a point she wanted to leave, and the guy just blocked the door. You're not going anywhere. You could see that in fact, if there was a way for that girl to disappear from that place, she would have disappeared. The guy blocked the door and she did everything. The only thing, the thing in Big Brother is that you're not allowed any physical aggression, like you're not to hit somebody. Or I think that guy would have received a slap that day because the girl was so angry, very angry. But he said, we have to settle it here. There are people like that. You want to be on your own at a particular time. You don't need that company, probably because you're sorting out your issues, but they refuse. They are not ready to leave your personal space. They don't have boundaries. There's how you tell somebody, I want to be on my own phone, and the person will just understand. We're going to talk about this later, the person will understand. And like, I am this kind of person that if I'm angry, at the point I'm angry, I don't like to talk. I don't even like to think about what is making me angry, talk less of talking about it. So I just wait till the emotions die down, and then my mind be clear enough to analyze the situation that got me into that mood. So when I'm angry, I don't want to talk that time. Just leave me alone. Let me be on my own. Then after everything, I'll come and meet you. If you want to discuss it, then fine. And there are people like me. So imagine having an emotional abuser in my life, and that period that I'm very angry is when you want to talk. You're not leaving this place until we settle it. You're not even respecting my personal space. That is an abuser. That is an emotional abuser. So, check out for it. If you're in that situation, you just need to know that is emotional abuse. For number 7, they text and call constantly. Now, please don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Calling and texting is not bad at all. But what is the motive behind those calls and texts? Is it because you care? Is it because you're missing the person? Is it because you're concerned for the person's safety, or because of mistrust? Because you want to control? Because you want to make sure the person is doing exactly what you think the person should be doing? These are different things. If you actually miss the person, or you're doing it from a point of care and love, the approach will be different from if you're doing it from a place of selfishness and control. I have a friend that her partner will call her to ensure that she is in the house. You tell her, go to the kitchen. She'll enter kitchen. Okay, carry a pot. She'll carry a pot. Carry spoon. Hit the pot 2 times. She'll hit the pot 2 times. Oh yeah, go close the door. He knows the distance between the kitchen to her bedroom. So if she walks down from the kitchen to the bedroom, he knows that the distance is supposed to go. I say close the door, she will shut the door. It's not now that we have that video calls are very rampant. It was a very funny situation that time. And she was in that relationship for some time, but I think she later got out of that situation. It was very funny. So there are people like that, such emotional abusers. Even when you're not doing something wrong, you're on your toes. Like when you see it's called, hey, you're afraid. That is, in fact, the way you react to these things should let you know if you're emotionally abused or not. How can you see your partner's call? And instead of you to be happy to pick it, your things are going on in your head because you don't know his reaction. You don't know what you're going to say that will be wrong to him. Do you understand? That is emotional abuse. You need to understand this. As I said, they are very subtle. These are things because they're not physical. People don't really understand. But how does it affect your mental health? You know, that is emotional abuse. So you have to look out for it in a relationship. For number eight, your partner abuses you, curses you when they are upset. It's a classic example. When they are upset, they will curse you. They will, use very strong languages that I don't even like to use. Very strong languages. They do it in public too, not just when both of you are together. In public, in fact, it's even in public they like to do it. They curse you and put you down, use curse words, shame you. When they are sober, they try to win you back with exaggerated gestures of plea. They will do everything to make sure that you forgive them. This is a classic example of an emotional abuser. After you have forgiven them, just give it time. It will happen again. It will happen again. And they have a way of blaming you for these things. If you didn't do this, I wouldn't have used such languages on you. If you didn't talk to me that way, if you didn't say this, if you didn't go here, everything will be turned around and they will blame you for putting them in that situation. And then later, when you forgive them and then things start going smoothly again, they will do it again. It's never going to stop. It is never going to stop. They will continue doing it every time, putting you down. This one is not even easy. It's not difficult to know because even as an outsider, you will know when your friend or someone close to you is in that situation. So please, if your partner is always cursing at you, shaming you, saying derogatory words to bring you down, especially in public, that is an emotional abuse. You have to look out for it. For number 9, they criticize the way you look and dress. An abuser will tell you they are protecting you. They always make it look as if whatever they are doing is for your own good. So when you dress up, an abuser that doesn't want you to wear that particular dress will tell you something like, I don't want people to look at you, I don't want people to look at my woman like that, I don't want you to give unnecessary attention. Those kind of words. Sometimes they even fat shame you. That dress would have been better on the same person. You know, an abuser will do those things. It's different from, if in in a healthy relationship, your partner will let you know when you have wardrobe slips. Remember, dressing, fashion is a way to express yourself. So if you like dressing conservatively, your partner has no right to tell you to be, dress sexy to impress people, and vice versa. If you like dressing the other way, he doesn't have any rights. I've seen this a lot. Some people where you meet a girl that likes to wear trousers and dress in a certain way, and then when you're in a relationship or when you win them over, or you guys are not in a relationship, you say no more trousers in this house. You must wear skirts. You must wear big gowns. I don't want people to look at you that way. I don't want my woman to be getting that kind of attention. That is a form of abuse. Whether you accept it or not, I'm telling you, whether you accept it or not, it's a form of abuse. Someone that sees you and meets you and somehow are now in a relationship is now trying to change you to the person you are not, especially fashion-wise. You won't be happy now. Like I said, fashion is a form of self-expression. And when somebody is trying to make you, different from yourself, making you to do what he wants, not what you like, how will you be happy? Tell me that is not abuse. Tell me that is not abuse. So, in a healthy relation, the person will bring out the best in you, not in any way pull you down or make comments that will pull you down, especially when it comes to your dress or your dress sense. It's good to give an opinion, It's different from forcing you, pressuring you to, be what you're not, to wear what you don't like. That is a form of emotional abuse. For number 10, which is the last I'm going to talk about for this topic, they frequently direct angry outbursts at you. These abusers put you in a situation whereby you're constantly walking on eggshells because you don't know what is going to trigger them to an outburst. When they are outside, sometimes they could be very calm, very, cool-headed. Many abusers, in fact, when you hear story, maybe one victim comes out to speak, and you look at the person she is talking about, you wonder, how can it be this person? Sometimes they look very calm, very cool outside. You could even swear that this person cannot do that. But when you go inside their private lives and see what they do to their partners, you will not believe that is that same person. So they put these people, these are victims, their partners, in a state of, anxiety. Every time they are anxious, they are walking on eggshells. They don't know what they would say that would trigger him, because once they do the outburst, and like I said earlier, the physical aggression, the throwing of things, and then when they finish, they are calm and they will start apologizing. So these examples I've not even covered enough, but for this topic, it's just 10 examples I want to give. So look at your relationship, evaluate your relationship so that you will know if that relationship is an abusive one. And then you'll know if you want to remain in that situation or if you want a better person in your life. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this topic as much as I did. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on that subscribe button right now and turn on your notification. Also, I really want you to comment on this video. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to respond to each and every comment. Let's have a discussion. And if you know other examples, if you have been in this situation before, let us know your story. Thank you once again. Bye.